Welcome back to the channel, guys, and that sounded absolutely fantastic. And that pizza is made by this Vesuvius flour. Now, we're going to be following this recipe today, and these bags are 500 grams each, so we're going to be using them in both. And as you can see, it's a really strong flour. It has a W rating of 290, and the protein levels are 14.5%. So let's get down to it. So we need 600 grams of water. And we just need to make sure that that's lukewarm water that we're popping in there. If it's a bit too hot, just add a little bit of cold water in and you'll be absolutely fine. And we need 2 grams of instant yeast. And we need to mix all that together, as always. So, just giving that a really good mix round. Now, this flour, I've got to say, is absolutely fantastic. And if you can't get a hold of this stuff, it's very similar to Caputo Nuvola flour. So we need to add in the flour to the water and the yeast mix, and we need to give that a stir around. So what you'll notice when we go to the other camera angle is that it starts off a little bit watery, but we're going to add some more flour in and it'll eventually thicken up. Now this flour is a single zero flour, and it's also got added wheat germ in there as well, which makes it a little bit more different and will add to the flavour of the actual pizza dough that we're about to make. So just adding some more of that flour in and giving it a mix around. And in the background you'll notice that we've got a brand new pizza sign, and that's from a very special friend of our channel. It was given to me as a gift for my birthday, so thank you very much. So have you used this flour before? If you have, as always, please let us know what you think in the comments. And if you want to comment on the video in general, just leave a comment in there. You're more than welcome. And if you like what you've seen so far, please consider subscribing to the channel. It really does help myself and Oliver build that community. And please visit our playlist. We've got more videos, more flour reviews on there. Just check them out in the channel. Especially the Pizza Flour Library. We really are getting a big collection now of videos in there with different flours. So just continuing to add in that flour, and you'll notice that it's now starting to really thicken up. And this flour was really great to work with. There was no real issues with it clumping or anything like that. Didn't have to sieve it or pre-sieve the flour. It took to the water really nicely and absorbed it, and you could tell that it was already silky smooth even before we started to knead it. So just adding some flour onto the work surface, because we are now ready to pour that out of the bowl and onto the work surface. And as always, just make sure you've got a little bit left behind, just so you can add that to the bowl and you can scrape out a lot more easily all the dough that's stuck onto the side of the bowl. Pizza flour is very expensive to start off with, so it really makes sense to get all that and cut out wastage. So you need to knead it for about 10 minutes, and we're going to do something slightly different on this one. We're actually going to add the salt in once we've got all the flour incorporated. Now we have had a few questions saying, why do you put the salt in and let it rest for an hour? I want to show you that actually it makes no difference. It's just my personal preference to making sure that the yeast is working. Now, we used a fresh can of instant yeast today, so I was pretty confident that the yeast would be working. But if you had that can open for a few weeks or months, then sometimes you can get stung by the yeast not activating, and you end up with a pretty flat, lifeless dough. So here we go. We're going to add in 25 grams of salt, and we're just going to knead that all in together and just keep kneading. No stickiness at all from this flour. The dough was superb. It really handled really nicely, and the salt went in without any incidents or having to use a dough scraper or anything like that. So this flour in the recipe that's suggested on the packet is a really good one. Very easy to follow and very good if you're new to pizza making. Now we're just finishing off kneading this, and as you can see, no sticking at all. And we're filming this at the end of 2024, so it goes without saying Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all our subscribers and everybody who's viewed our channel over this year. Thank you very much for that. So we're going to let that rest now for 19 hours. We're going to cover it with a shower cap, and we're just going to let it sit at room temperature. So here it is before, and here it is after 19 hours. So next up, we're going to start balling it up. So one of the best things about pizza making is a surprise that you get the following day. And we certainly got a surprise with this pizza dough. Look at all that structure, and it's stuck to the shower cap. Best thing about having a shower cap, we can get that excess dough off there quite easily. So let's have a look inside at all that structure. And that looks sensational. Look at that. That looks brilliant. Please like the video as well, as it says there. It really, really helps again to push the video out. So we've just got some Semolina flour on standby just in case we do have a bit of sticking. And it's always handy just to put a little bit on the work surface. And again, it just makes life a hell of a lot easier for shaping the pizza balls and getting them into those tubs. So each pizza ball is 230 grams each, and we're going to weigh that out. Now, to my surprise, I got it right first time, and I really was shocked at getting that first time. It's very rare that you get it right first time, but I got that spot on, 230 grams. So just forming the ball there, and again, look, no sticking. It's not sticking to my hands. It's such a good dough and made from that flour. It really, really is. So just putting a little bit of the smaller flour into the tub, and then again, that just makes getting that ball out of that tub a lot easier when we come to making the pizza. So on with the lid, and there we go. Look at that. And we're going to leave those now standing at room temperature for 5 hours. So here they are before, and here they are after. Look at that. Wow, they really have risen. Pizza time's coming up. So here we go, pizza time. Everybody's favourite, of course. We've waited patiently for 24 hours. So let's get some smaller flour into that tub, onto the top of the ball. Let's see how easy it comes out. Look at that. Straight out, no messing. So just giving the ball a douse in that smaller flour, and with his fingers, just work his way around to create that crust. And then we'll have a nice puffy crust, hopefully, that you see in the picture on the bag of flour. Let's see if we can actually get that this time around. So just working that around with that bit of a steering wheel method, and the dough will nicely form that base, just letting it fall between your fingers, and the weight of the actual dough will just form the base quite naturally. So wiping that smaller flour away, we don't want too much excess. That'll leave a bit of a burnt taste if we have that too much of that on. So again, just turning that around, stretching that base out. Look at that, no spring back at all. So on with the mutti tomato sauce. Lovely stuff, that, highly recommend it. Just giving that a spread around the pizza base. Looks fantastic. And it is one of the things I really do enjoy is this bit, making the pizza. So on with some Parmigiano. Grated that myself, so it's not quite fine as it normally should be, but it doesn't matter when it melts, does it? And then just adding on a little bit of smoky cheese. I love smoky cheese at this time of year in the winter. It just adds a little bit of a different taste to the pizza. On some pepperoni, and again, this is some of my favourite pepperoni that we've got on there. We've got that from Amato Foods in Manchester. On with some fresh mozzarella cheese, just putting that in between. I love a cheesy pizza as well. And if you do, what's your favourite? Put it in the comments. What's your favourite pizza topping? Do you just a straight cheese and tomato, or is there something special you have on? Do you have the dreaded ham and pineapple? What's your favourite? So on to the peel, and off to the pizza oven on the back garden. So here we go. This is into the Roccbox. Got a brand new pizza peel, and if you check out the description, there'll be some links in there to the review of that pizza peel. So the oven temperature is at 400 degrees, and we're just warming that turning peel up, and straight away that back edge of that dough is rising right up, and that crust looks absolutely fantastic already. And it makes my mouth water every time I do these videos and I look at the pizza and I just think I just want a pizza straight away, even though I had this only a few days ago. So yeah, it was really good in the oven as well. The dough, no problem with sticking. We didn't have any breaks in the middle. Straight out onto the peel, and let's have a listen. Wow, it's just so crispy and crunchy. So we'll open the pizza up. Let's have a look inside. And the crust on this, I've got to say, look at that. That's pretty good. I like that. That's pretty good. So as I said, this flour is very, very similar to Caputo Nuvola, but I think this is a better result. And the reason why is because it's got the wheat germ in there. So that's what it looks like underneath. And look, you've got a fantastic crust. So hit the like button. Please consider subscribing. That's another pizza we did earlier. But all that remains to say is thanks for watching. And as always, bye for now.